The Democrats on the Senate Judiciary Committee have done it. They have delayed Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation vote until Thursday. What a victory for Spartacus. All of the theatrics and utter ridiculousness of the past couple of weeks bought them 4 days. In the meantime, I also want to extend my congratulations for what else they've done. Nice work. Democrats, you have done an amazing job turning the Senate Judiciary Committee into an absolute joke. I seriously think everyone involved, well, maybe not Ben Sass and Mike Lee, everyone involved should just now arrive at work in one clown car. This is ridiculous. I mean, are you engaging knowingly into self-satire? As if we needed any reason to look at big government in utter disgust, but nice work on giving us one more reason. Just for a quick recap, this confirmation started off with Democrats shouting down the Judiciary Committee chairperson during his opening comments. Then it rapidly devolved into a showdown between future Democratic presidential hopefuls desperate for camera time. Cory Booker calling himself Spartacus. I am Spartacus. Please, somebody pay attention to me. Somebody call me Spartacus, please. But they saved what I believe is the worst for what I hope is the last. What do you do if all of your insane theatrics fail? Well, you just allege sexual misconduct, obviously. Dianne Feinstein, the ranking Democrat on the committee, recently announced that she had forwarded information to the FBI regarding a possible case involving Kavanaugh. She gave absolutely no details. I wonder if it's Anita Hill. But she did mention that there were unnamed sources in New York. Oh, good. New York Times claims it concerns sexual misconduct when Kavanaugh was in high school. Let me say that again. When Kavanaugh was in high school. High school. Okay, how many of us, weren't exactly adults when we were in high school? Oh, I don't know. All of us.
Do we know if there was like a Billy Madison situation where he had to reattend high school as an adult?
I don't know. Maybe. This is her statement. I have received information from an individual concerning the nomination of Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court. Now, that individual strongly requested confidentiality. They've declined to come forward or press the matter even any further than this. And I've honored that decision. But I have referred the matter to the federal investigative authorities. Wait. The individual does not want to be named, does not want to come forward, refuses to press this any further, but you're honoring that request by turning it over to the FBI? I have secret information about Senator Feinstein. It is bad. It is really bad. It concerns golden showers with elephants. She was humping Putin's leg. Well, I don't want to say anymore. It's not coming from me. And this person, I can't identify, doesn't want to come out, will not testify, doesn't want to press this any further. But I'm going to whisper this into the ears of the FBI. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to tell all of the American people about it. I'm just honoring the request of the person who refuses to be named, does not want to press it any further. Are you kidding me? The FBI has already commented saying they are not opening an investigation. Why not with that kind of evidence? How do you not just throw him in jail? I'm sure they're probably a little pissed off at being brought into this theater of the absurd. But I would like to deliver the very hard truth to the Senate Democrats this morning. You've lost your mind. You've lost your mind. Brett Kavanaugh, when Glenn Beck is like, I don't know about Brett Kavanaugh, I don't think he's strong enough. Are you kidding me? There's parts of me that hope you turn him down. Just hope you turn him down. Because I would love to see this administration going, oh, okay, that guy was too extreme. Well, let me show you what's behind curtain number 2. He'll be fully confirmed in 2 weeks. He will sit on the Supreme Court. Merrick Garland isn't going to suddenly materialize and conquer a Supreme Court seat by his own hand like Conan the Barbarian. Spartacus has failed. You have embarrassed yourself, you have embarrassed your party, and you have embarrassed the entire country. Congratulations. Here, we'll throw you another match. By now, thanks to the incessant fear-mongering by Democrats, you're probably aware that American women are going to lose all of their rights. We're going to keep them in cages as soon as Kavanaugh becomes Supreme Court Justice. In fact, we're not even going to wait for him to be sworn in. We're starting to, FEMA's already starting to acquire all the cages for women. Now, of course, that's not true, but that hasn't stopped anyone from believing those kinds of hysterics. The anti-Kavanaugh hysteria now has inspired Democrats in Maine to get creative because one of their senators, sort of Republican, Susan Collins, is considered a potential deciding vote in Kavanaugh's confirmation. And they are threatening to donate $1 million to her 2020 Democratic opponent unless Collins votes no on Kavanaugh. Using a crowdfunding site called CrowdPack, 2 groups called Maine People's Alliance and Mainers for Accountable Leadership posted a listing that says, people of Maine are asking you to be a hero, Senator Collins. If you fail to stand up for the people of Maine and for Americans across the country, every dollar donated to this campaign will go to your eventual Democratic opponent in 2020, and we will get you out of office. The project has already received pledges from 37,000 people totaling over $1 million. And in a weird way, they're basically attempting to buy her vote. In some circles, this would be known as bribery. But the Founding Fathers couldn't have seen it, on a crowdsourcing. Senator Collins released a statement calling it extortion, and one of the groups behind the effort called her response politics at its worst. Really? The main group's twist is that if Collins votes no on Kavanaugh, they supposedly won't collect the pledges from their 37,000 donors, but they're still using the pledged money to try to induce Collins to vote the way they want. They're just not offering the money directly to Collins like your typical old-fashioned kind of bribe. Like many poorly conceived schemes in our social media age, Maine Democrats, I don't think you've thought this one through, because bribery is a federal crime. And just because, this is kind of hipster, an inverse bribe, several legal experts think this is technically still a bribe. And could these groups be shooting themselves in the foot with this strategy? What if by trying to force Collins to vote no on Kavanaugh, they inadvertently cause her to vote yes, simply to avoid looking like she was influenced by their scare tactics? And just when you thought politics couldn't get any more. We go to Bill O'Reilly now, who I know wants to lead with an apology because he said last week that he didn't think the Bob Woodward book would sell, and now that it's the biggest selling book of all time, including I think the Bible. I'm sure he's going to lead with that. Hello, Bill.
Well, let's be accurate. I said I didn't think it would have legs. The book would have legs in the sense that it will be a bestseller, for months.
Okay,
but
can I ask you?
Wrong on that? I mean, look.
No. I'm just kidding you. Have you read the book?
I have not.
Okay. Stu has, because I haven't had a chance to read it yet either.
I do the work that America doesn't want to do.
Correct. Mm-hmm. And he brought up a really good point this morning.
Yeah, there's an interesting section, Bill. I'd at least like to get your take on this part of it, because the last chapter is actually, I took it as really favorable to Trump. It's about the Russian collusion investigation with Mueller, and Trump comes off as incredibly cooperative with Mueller. The entire White House, very cooperative with him, giving him everything he could possibly want, largely based on the idea that they were totally convinced they've done absolutely nothing wrong and they had nothing to hide. They gave him much more than they even asked for. And this, a lot of the reporting is revolved around this comment that one of Trump's lawyers made to Trump, where he said, you'll be in an orange jumpsuit. But that's not that's from that section, and the section's very positive on Trump. And it's not about collusion; it's about the idea that Trump wanted to testify, and Dowd, his lawyer, was like, "Look, it's a perjury trap. They're going to find any way they can to trap you."
Yeah, this isn't even about Russia anymore. They're going to trap you. You can't do it, no matter what. No matter what, you just can't do it, or you'll be in an orange jumpsuit. That's a totally different story than what the press is reporting.
Well, I think Woodward himself is selling the book as, excuse me, a cautionary tale that if you put an inexperienced, egotistical person in the White House, you're going to have chaos. That's how Woodward himself is selling the book. So I'm glad Stu read it. I didn't know the last chapter was about that. I had Ken Starr in the No Spin News on BillO'Reilly.com this week, and he said flat out that what has been put forth so far, there's no crime at all.
Right.
That's what Starr said.
Right.
Okay. So you get a position where if Woodward himself is going to say, look, I need to sell this book, and this is exactly what he did, to people who don't like Trump, because nobody who likes it's going to read the book, then I'm going to have to go negative and spin it that way, and that's what you're seeing. So while you know how I feel about the media in general, I don't think it's a media play here. I think it's a Woodward play.
Let me change topics here on Dianne Feinstein.
Oh, geez.
This is phenomenal.
It's unbelievable.
Can you recap for anybody who doesn't know the story?
I can give you an update too.
Okay, Let's go for the recap, and then you can give the update.
All right. I just want to reemphasize how lucky you are to have me every Friday.
Oh my gosh, Bill! I get up every morning and I fall to my knees and I say thank you.
I
Jesus.
know. I mean, I'm on it and all of that.
Right. I know.
So there's a letter that was given to a Democratic congressperson in California who passed it along to Dianne Feinstein this summer. The letter was written by someone, we have no idea who, that details something that happened to Brett Kavanaugh when he was in high school.
High school.
Yeah. We don't know what.
Right. And we don't know who, and the person.
We don't know who the writer is, and we don't know what is in the letter.
Right. And the person who gave it to Feinstein said, I don't want to press charges. I don't want to move.
Get involved,
don't want to get involved.
But here's the letter.
Yes.
So Feinstein sits on the letter. Okay, instead of immediately turning it over to the FBI, he does background checks, and that's why the FBI is involved. The FBI does background checks on all Supreme Court justice nominees. Instead of immediately saying, look, I don't know what this is. It could be totally bogus. Here, FBI, is a letter. I'm going to wash my hands of it, and I'm not going to say anything about it. No. Feinstein sits on the letter and then allows someone in her staff, I believe, I could be wrong, could be the congressperson's staff member, to leak it. To leak that this is some misconduct. Don't I love that word, misconduct, on a part of Brett Kavanaugh when he was in high school. Okay, so nobody knows whether it's true or not. It's leaked. So it gets out. Okay, so now today, just about an hour ago, The Guardian, not a reliable source, it's a far-left newspaper out of Britain.
Before you say anything.
Yes.
Stu, is there anything that happened in high school other than murder or something like that, something that you did when you were 16 years old
Yeah, I mean, obviously a major crime.
A major crime.
Right, like if people do really dumb things
but
that are
not,
awkward, but if there's a huge crime, obviously that would still hold.
You're raping people. You're killing animals. We need to talk about that. All right. What did they say?
Right, so, but it's misconduct.
Yes.
So you know what the flag is there. You absolutely know what it is. Everybody who the far left wants to destroy is guilty of misconduct. So Me Too can get involved. I mean, it's the biggest witch hunt in this country's history. But I digress. The Guardian reports, and again, unreliable newspaper, that Brett Kavanaugh and another kid were at a party, a high school party, whereupon they locked some girl in a room and ran away, and the girl got out. That's what they're reporting is in the letter.
Well, they locked her in the room and then they raped her?
No, they ran away.
They locked her in the room and they fondled her?
No, they ran away.
They locked her in the room and got very gender specific with her?
I don't know. We don't know what we're talking about because this is the Guardian. I want to just make sure that everybody.
But even if it is the Guardian, if that's what you got,
that's what they say that it's in the letter. So even the New York Post, which is one of the top drivers of misconduct, even their editorial board said today, this is a new low for the Democratic Party. Now, I don't know whether I've seen lower things. I think the Susan Collins stuff is lower.
The FBI came out and said they're not considering this. They're not going to do anything on this and pursue it.
Of course not. I mean, this is, and it's not been front and center on the cable news programs because of the Category 1 now rainstorm in the Carolinas, which they hyped to death. And so they can't wedge this Kavanaugh thing in yet. So that Kavanaugh got a break on that.
Okay, let me ask you this, Bill. I got up this morning and I was listening to the Daily. It's the New York Times, 20-minute update, and they do an interview with somebody, and it's fascinating to listen to. And they had Bob Woodward on a couple of days ago, and they were talking to him, and they started talking about sources and hidden sources and unnamed sources and the importance of those. And Bob was talking about the importance of those in the Nixon era. And I kind of understand. I mean, I think there is a place for unnamed sources, but you better trust the journalists and the organizations above them, which nobody does.